All right, folks, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. You are live with the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. It's Tuesday, y'all. My boy Dusty Vision is standing by. We're about to get this party started. Come on in, come on in, come on in. This is how we do it, y'all, from the West Coast to the East Coast. Dusty, where you at, sir?
What up, Lons?
Hanging out, Doc. How you feeling today?
Man, I can't complain, man. Beautiful night out here in LA. Nice and chilly the way I like it. Feeling good, man. How about you?
Just a little chill, man. Not a whole lot. Just put on a hoodie or a lightweight jacket. You don't need a bomber jacket, but if you got a little something to throw on, you can update your wardrobe or whatever.
Yes,
a little flavor to it.
Sir. Yeah,
damn
man.
Sure. Good night for a hat. That's why I got my.
Oh yeah, you already know, especially us bald dudes.
Yes,
sir. Are we live on YouTube? It looks like we still got a countdown of almost 2 minutes left, or about 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Yeah, they coming in. I see.
Oh shit, we're good. Okay.
I see about 7 people here already.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Let me refresh my screen.
We got the chat room. We got YouTube.
Oh, I think I clicked on the wrong one. All right, cool. Why is mine not working?
Yeah.
All right, maybe it just has to count down all the way. That's all good.
Yeah, we in there.
That's weird. Yeah, man, lot to talk about, Lonzo. It's been a interesting week, to say the least. Woo! And yeah, man, probably the biggest story next to Young Dolph, which we definitely got to cover because there is so much information now, Lonzo, since we last talked on Thursday. But big story just a couple of days ago. Waukesha, Wisconsin, a man they are referring to as a SoundCloud rapper, Daryl Brooks, ran through a crowd at a Christmas party full speed, killing 5 and injuring 40 at last count. Talk to me about that situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, it was, and I saw it. He was weaving in and out of traffic for a minute, avoiding the van. And then he wouldn't find him a crowd of people. The dancing grannies? Dude, you ain't gonna get no love. You ain't gonna get no mercy on that one. I mean, it showed him, coming through the crowd, coming down the middle of the street. The band was playing, marching band was out playing. He weaved around the band, and then he found another group of people. Like I said, the dancing grannies, dude. That ain't going good in court or in heaven or afterlife.
Yeah, exactly.
That ain't going good nowhere, dude. I don't know what he was thinking about. I got to be some emotional and some mental issues going on there. But man, then the dude just got out of jail, just bailed out a few days earlier for trying to run over his girlfriend in the same truck.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has a criminal record. He has a bad criminal past, man.
Max, what's it? Maxie Mixon Vibe said he was being chased by the police. Nah, that nobody. Nah. He was his own one.
That's the narrative some people and certain stations are trying to spin. He knew what he was doing. He wasn't running from anybody.
Man, dude, I send my condolences go out to the family for everybody that was killed and all those who were hurt and their families, because man, that has got to be a sickening sight to see how people run and get hit like that. Earlier today, I saw a news reporter where a guy ran a record store, and he said people were coming to the record store to try and get away from the guy, but you could still hear bodies hitting the car.
Man.
And man, that's some PTSD type stuff right there. That'll mess you up for a while, man. You'll need some serious therapy dealing with that kind of shit, dude.
Yeah. And it makes you worried. Me, just a person who wants to have fun, likes to go out and do things. And now I'm like, man, is that shit going to happen to me when I go to this year's Christmas parade? I mean, it's terrorism. It's mental terrorism for everybody.
Yeah, it is, definitely. And Milwaukee ain't the most friendly black state as it is. So he picked a bad place to do a bad thing, Doc.
Yeah. He's definitely screwed, man. And what a horrible time. I mean, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these people have to think about that now while they're sitting down at Thanksgiving dinner. And like you said, grandmas, man. Grandmas aren't even staying.
Grandmas. And that's the coldest part of the whole thing. You could have ran over. I mean, not saying anything is, by no jest at all, but to run over people's grandmamas, dude. The dancing grannies? Women from 50 to 52 to 80 something? Dude. You definitely gonna need to be on protective custody, man.
Yeah, man. I see the chat room is on fire. Thank you, guys. Make sure you hit the like button when you enter the building. It really helps us out. I'm going to make sure I copy and paste all the questions, and we're going to get to them all tonight. But there's so much stuff that Lonzo and I have to catch up on. And like you said, before we jump into the young Dolph thing, condolences to the families in Waukesha who experienced that. Young Dolph, my man, we did a surprise show on Thursday.
Yeah.
After we heard about the killing. And since you and I spoke, so much has came out. And I would just love your opinion on a few of the things that came out. But let me update you, Lonzo. You probably already know some of this, but some of this you probably don't. I've been digging deep into this, man. I've been digging so deep. My thing is the internet is going to solve this case before the police do, if they haven't already. As you already know, probably a white Mercedes was found less than 2 miles from where Dolph was killed, and that it is tied to another shooting that allegedly killed 2 other people last week. Yeah, and now, and since, this is the first thing I would like your take on, Lonzo. Allegedly, 2 people have been shot on the same block. The car was found that this week, and apparently 14 bodies have already dropped around this Dolph situation in Memphis. Memphis is on fire, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, I saw where the cops found the car in somebody's backyard, not covered up, anything. And allegedly there was a body inside the house. 2 miles from the original shooting, a white Mercedes. There was no brains involved in this whatsoever. This was all emotional. This was no brains involved in this whatsoever. Whoever did this situation was acted strictly on emotion. I understand that Soulja Boy has made some comments regarding young Dolph about he had 100 on his head or something like that. So he's,
yep. And there's a lot of misinformation. I gotta really quick, just so you know, there's a lot of misinformation. Apparently those tweets, because you can manipulate tweets nowadays, and allegedly those tweets are not real, thankfully. Okay. But what you're talking about, for everyone out there who doesn't know, is allegedly there's tweets out there of one of these guys and Soulja Boy going back and forth saying, I need that $100. They put $500K on my head. Now I need to up it $50K. But according to reliable sources, thankfully that Soulja Boy's not involved, even though he's still acting dumb with it. He's still not really saying, I ain't do shit. Like, playing along with it.
That's that internet clout, man, that folks they'll leave enough out there to let you make him a suspect, but not enough to convict himself. Okay. Yeah. That's that I got to be a gangster. I got to look like a gangster at all costs, even for me, that I could get brought in for questioning and possibly be accused of something. Have to hire a lawyer to defend me, but I still want to look like this. The streets run everything right now. The street and the internet imagery is more important than say, hey, you know what? I had nothing to do with that shit. Keep me out of it. That's not even the issue. The last thing I want to be right now would be remotely suspected of having anything to do with this situation. You got the guys that shot up the memorial. They caught those cats. Okay, yep. They caught those, and they was caught the same day. All right. I mean, it's stupid, man. It's this whole scenario is stupid, and it seemed to be. For some people, it's very real. Of course, the bodies dropping, but man, how many people have to die for somebody to feel satisfied? Or because a lot of this is some of these things is revenge shootings or get back or get even, and you never get even because you now the shooters of those who've been shot, now your ass is on the line. Your police looking for you. Snitches gonna tell on you. You're looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life, and it's a never-ending situation, man. That folks just not getting, man. And I bet you if you take it down to the bottom line, the whole thing is about some bullshit.
Yep. Now, here's some more info, Lonzo. Like I said, it's coming in, and I have so much that I will really want your opinion on. So going back to the house that they found the car at. The house allegedly, now there's 3 suspects that the internet are helping solve. There's this gentleman by the name of Jojo Splat, and I say gentleman obviously and sarcastically, Straight Drop, and CEO Bobby are the key suspects right now. And as of today, they are being investigated by that big-time detective that they have out there, who's apparently was on the first 48. But let's start with the house, Lonzo. The house allegedly belongs to a rapper by the name of straight drop, which I just mentioned. And he is CEO Bobby's homie. So there's that evidence. And here's some more evidence. As soon as the white Mercedes was found, Straight Drop deleted all of his videos off YouTube, which is where he was recording most of his videos from that house. So when they found that white Mercedes, he deleted them all off YouTube. Obviously, they're out there. He thinks he could just delete them and they're gone. They're not. But there's that evidence there. I'm going to give this all to you, Lonzo, because I really want you said this was a bad job, and this was such a bad job. A couple of things. CEO Bobby was posing with a gun in his Instagram that was similar to one of the guns used, one of the AR-15 assault rifles. He also was wearing a Bass Pro hat.
Right.
Very specific hat. Now, in the footage that they have of the still of the gun guy shooting, you could clearly see a Bass Pro hat. Right. And if you go to CEO Bobby's IG and just scroll down a bit, you'll see a picture of him in a Bass Pro hat. Coincidence? Whatever the case may be. And lastly, Lonzo, there's one more thing. Where is it? The assault rifle, the Bass Pro hat, and there's one other thing I can't remember about, but I'll get to it later. But what are your thoughts on how these guys are just being so clumsy with it, man?
First of all, to do this kind of situation the way they did it, again, it was based on emotions and not brains. And these guys, I guess, being in fashion is more important than getting away. Brass Pro hat, I don't know. I know on this side of Mason-Dixon line, that don't mean shit. But it's enough to get your ass under suspicion on the other side of the Mason-Dixon line. And that's what's important right now. The internet is watching, and they putting two and two together. I'm just watching the amateur detectives do their thing, and they're the ones noticed the hat. I didn't notice the hat at first. Then I saw the hat. I said, "Damn, that is true." Then they got videos of him wearing the hat, and I know the hats are very popular, but sometimes what looks like a coincidence is actually some real shit. Just disguised as a coincidence. And hey man, it's just stupid is the stupid does, as Forrest Gump would say.
Mm-hmm.
You need the car outside, no cover. The car, if anybody in his right mind, the car would have been burnt up. Anybody in his right mind in a river. That's the last thing you would have thought, that raggedy ass Mercedes. Okay, all them dents down. Somebody just sideswiped it down the side of it. That raggedy ass Mercedes should have been in the shop in the first place. Should have drove an Uber. You'd been better off. Okay, but folks ain't thinking. The money ain't there, and they just acting. They got the clout for killing him, but now everybody's looking for him. I mean, it ain't been a week, and they already got suspects. Come on, man. A week, and you already dodging people. I wonder if the people, the people the dead bodies they found at the house. I wonder if they're going to show up to be anybody of significance in regards to a suspect. Because sometimes cats get mad at each other, and they take off. You see it all the time in the movies, and I'm quite sure it happens in real life. We'll start off with a good idea. Somebody else decide, hey man, I'm gonna do something else, and that wasn't the plan, fool. Now we all messed up. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, man. The piece of info that I forgot about that I just found in my notes was the white Benz in question has also been seen on CEO Bobby's Instagram. If you scroll down just a little bit, he has a couple of pictures of him standing in front of a white Benz that looks very similar to the one on camera. So it's just, these guys did not think this thing out, man.
Before or after it got sideswiped?
Yeah, right.
That right there was a dead giveaway. I mean, only thing, cars, that kind of damage on the car that was so obvious. Even the grainy videos, that damage was obvious. There was some sideswiping. People who know the car got sideswiped before the shooting happened know who did it already. Think about that. You don't mess up a white Benz like that and don't tell the story to somebody. Okay? You don't mess up a white Benz, a nice white Benz like that, and the story is not, oh man, I was driving down the street and so popped out.
A deer, yeah.
A deer, or somebody in the truck, this drunk fool pulled out, man. And but don't worry about it. I have it straight, but you didn't get it straight. So now all them scratches became identifying marks on your vehicle. You should have left your license plate. Now you should have gave me a license plate. That made it real easy. But the cats, though, I've seen videos today of about 80 people running up into a store and doing a smash and grab. Ain't nobody got plates covered nowhere. Just a matter of time before they get caught, fool. You think because you ran in there with hoodies on that they don't have nothing, they have no way of identifying the car. And once they get 3 or 4 of them, people are gonna start talking. They're gonna make that person they got the ringleader, which is gonna give him or her the most time, and they're gonna start. Come on, my homie house. He got some bags. He got some socks over here. Oh, dude, it's going down. They giving it up. Okay, and it's stupid. When they changed the laws, I know we changed the subject from. They changed the laws about pursuing criminals and what is actually considered a felony.
Anything under $1,000, you're basically getting a slap on the wrist, right?
Right. So you can walk into a store and walk out with something. Security guard ain't gonna chase you. It's under $1,000. You pretty much walk in there and get something for free. That's the illusion. That's the illusion. Okay. And that's what they're doing. They're taking advantage of that.
Yeah. Okay? That's facts. Yep. Yeah. It's been happening a lot lately, actually. That smash and grab thing. And yeah, no mask, nothing, just boom. And then, like you said, and that goes to all the people who think they're getting away with all the EDD scams you were doing about a year ago. Oh, they'll catch up to you. The IRS is patient as fuck. Trust me. They hit me 8 years after something I didn't even realize I did. So shit, I know they're patient as fuck.
Yep.
But yeah, back to Dolph, man. His streams went up the day after. His streams went up 3,000%. His Instagram followers went up 500,000 plus. My thing is, please give me my flowers while I'm here. Like, don't wait till I'm gone to start, streaming my shit and following me and supporting. It's a little too late, man. Give me my flowers while I'm here, please.
Well, I saw another video the other day that said that Young Dolph, Pop Smoke, and another rapper out of Chicago wore these all the same ring. And they all signed to the same company. You were getting to my next thing. So yeah, it's Most 3, King Von, and him. It's Empire Records. Empire Records. All of them are signed to Empire Records. Okay, that makes Empire Records very suspect. Now I wonder what the contract reads like, especially if in the event of the artist dying. I wonder what the contract does. Does the record company keep those royalties, or they share with the family? Do they revert back to the record company? I don't know. Okay. But you never know what a contract may read and make somebody it will make somebody more valuable dead than alive. So, when someone's popular like Young Dolph is and was, that's the conspiracy theories are one of the first things to fly. And that was one of the first ones that jumped out. And allegedly, they have like a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy on the rapper. So if anything happens to them, then they get buku bucks. And yes, Most 3, very popular rapper. King Von, both very popular rapper. Both were literally on the verge of being the next big thing. And here we go with Young Dolph. That's one of the theories out there that people that's in conspiracy land right now. Who owns it?
Not too far off, right?
Who owns the record label?
I can't think of the guy's name, but I'll look it up while you're talking. I know it's Empire Records for sure. And even though they did own their masters, like they own 100% of their masters or whatever the case is, the majority of their masters, they still had this life insurance policy on them.
Yeah, so that's better than masters all day long. Okay, and who knows where the masters may end up in the event of a catastrophe.
Ghazi Shami is the founder and CEO of Empire. Ghazi Shami. Ghazishami. Ghazi Shami.
He ain't from the hood, I can tell.
Probably not. Sounds nah.
Okay. He ain't from the hood. And I have a personal situation, have something happen to a family member of mine. We're not gonna go into it in details, but it made me come to reach the conclusion that to some people, and think about what I'm about to say. Some people, Black lives, especially young Black lives, are disposable.
Oh, talk about it. Talk about it.
they're not valued to some people. Some people they're not very well valued. So therefore, and especially and again, if everything that's happening to these guys is always somebody that looks like them that's doing it. So the retaliation is in a circle, okay? But the benefit is going someplace else. The retaliation stays over here, but the benefit goes someplace else. Who's going to benefit from all these streams. I wonder who's benefit, who's going how to, because digital masters, owning a digital master is probably on a USB drive.
Yeah, I'm like, how does that work? You wouldn't probably know more than I would on that.
Come on. You don't have the tapes that I have. That I showed you guys last week. You don't have exactly, a 2-inch tape. You have a thumb drive, okay? You got a thumb drive, okay? And I'm just saying, man, it's the digital age has presented a lot of interesting problems that most people didn't think of. And yes, you may have the thumb drive, but the rights to them may revert to my company in the event that you have not recouped. Okay, or they may be, I may get a percentage of them, and especially when you guys having insurance policies on these guys. I don't remember CBS putting an insurance policy on us. We weren't that valuable to them. They put an insurance policy on us. Okay, they might have one on Michael or somebody of that stature, but far as Wrecking Crew, that wouldn't happen. But nowadays, with the climate being what it is, and these guys not even making their own release parties, the insurance policy might not be too bad of an idea for some of these folks, man. I'm just saying, man, it really makes you think, because people have some real diabolical, evil thoughts when it comes to young black males, especially because they do so much. There's so much being done by them to themselves. It gives the appearance that nobody cares about anybody, and for the most part, a lot of people turn the blind eye to it or accept it for what it is, as opposed to speaking out. And people do speak out, but again, sometimes you may have that shadow situation where those words don't reach the right ears. I don't know, man, but I do know for a fact, based on a personal experience that I know personally, that a good somebody very close to me got caught up in a situation where his life was pretty much disposable for a few dollars, and thank God he didn't die. That's real talk.
That's deep shit, Lonzo. That's deep, man. Still kind of delving in conspiracy theory land. Another one that's been floating around out there is one of them is that he had $100 million and wanted to start his own distribution company. And the higher ups weren't too, excited about that, so they put a hit on him. Once again, these aren't things I necessarily believe or Lonzo necessarily believes, but I would love your comment on that, because that was surrounding Suge Knight as well and Murder Inc. When Murder Inc. and Suge and Jay Prince down south were trying to do their thing. Murder Inc. gets indicted by the FBI. Next thing you know, Suge Knight starts getting messed with. Death row falls. What do you think about that?
Well, you know what, man. Again. You don't have the right to control your own money, okay? And basically what distribution does is control the money, all right? I've been involved in situations where the record company sold records, and because somebody filed a lawsuit or said call file, I ain't paying nobody. Distribution company locks up all the money. I'm gonna hold the money till y'all tell me to let it go. Meanwhile, the money is gaining interest someplace. Okay, so when the money is finally freed up, they're not giving you. They just giving you the money that was owed. They're not giving you the interest. So as a record company, people have to understand. As a record company, record company's job is to hold the money as long as possible. Okay. They want to hold the money because as long as they hold the money, that money is making more money in other ways. It's not just about your royalties. That's why it takes so long for you to get all your money. They always hold money to keep money in reserve so that they can generate more money from your money and just pay you your principal after they've flipped it 2 or 3 times. And this is a known fact. This is why it's so important that they keep control of the money. The money is they don't care about the music. They care about the money the music generates. In the record companies, record contract, like I think I told you before, they have a thing called free goods. Free goods give you 10% of all record sales can be given away. So that means if you sell 1 million records, I can give away 100,000 at $10 a piece. Okay, that's 10,000. That's $1 million that you just ain't got. They don't want to account for. You pay for it. You pay for the pressing, pay for the manufacturing, and they still give it away and give it to whoever they want to. That's $1 million. That's 10,000 records is worth 10,000 CDs worth $1 million. Okay. Same thing with what they call reserves. Reserves is another thing. So reserves is what they would do in the actual physical record days. They would, if you sold them, say you sold 1 million records, keep it real simple. They'd only pay you on maybe 600,000, keep 400,000 in reserve in case they get returned, and they have to they don't have to go back and get you to get them back their money. So they'll hold about 40%, so that they'll have something, in the event that your record stops selling and they have to give people back their money. That's the justification. But basically, they first royalty check, they give you in advance. Your first royalty check probably ain't due until about 90 days after your record come out. So if your record come out in January, your first royalty check won't be available till September. You're only gonna get a certain percentage of that, and then that one won't come out again till 6 months after that, and then you're gonna go get a certain percentage of that. Okay, so if they hold back 40%, they may still hold another 40% of the 40%. It may take you 4 or 5 years to get all your money if your record went platinum or gold, and that's why Michael Jackson and other big artists are always pitching the pitch. Michael Jackson records don't come back. Prince don't come back. They don't come back. They just get, if they do come back, they get reshipped back out again. So if it takes an artist 4 or 5 years to get all this money, this is why sometimes it takes a long time for artists to make albums, because they didn't want to have all this money tied up. You got an album that came out in 2000, and I ain't finished getting paid. It's 2005. You still owe me money. Okay, you still owe me money. That's why artists want such big advances, because it takes so long for them to get all their money back. And meanwhile, while all these reserves are being held, the money is in an interest-bearing account, making more money for the record company that you don't get. Damn,
dude. Someone in the chat said, "I hope the artists are paying attention." Like, real talk, man. This is stuff you got to pay attention to, and it's scary how they take advantage of us, man.
Here's the crazy part: that return and reserve clause is still in some contracts, although you can't return a digital file. Okay, once a digital file is downloaded, you can't give it back.
What?
That clause. Some of those clauses are still in contract today.
That should be illegal.
Okay, it's not. That's where a good lawyer comes in at. They won't give it to you. They'll tell you how, man. They'll give you the contract. If your lawyer or you don't know what's going on, don't pay attention. It's not their job to teach you. And this is where the record company comes in, and that's why people fall victim to the game all the time, because they look at that top of that contract and see that big number with their name, that check with their name on it, and that's all they care about. I've been there. I've done it. It happened to me. Shit, I know what happens. Your mind go to the store, go to the mall, Doc. You're not thinking about them other 40 pages. You're not thinking about them 40 pages. So it's not after the fact you realize how bad you got screwed, but by that time it's too late. And for me, I've been lucky. It's just most of the people that took advantage of me eventually went out of business. They just went out of business. So I was able to retain all my stuff.
Man. Good shit, Lonzo. And I promise everybody we are going to get to all of the questions in the chat. Please, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, hit that like button, smash it, let everybody know we are here. Before we move on, Lonzo, are we doing a back in the day segment today?
I got a little 5-minute back in the day segment. Well,
perfect.
Actually,
all right, cool.
Back in the day, it's like, right, what's happening right now? I did a tour of the studio.
Cool. You want to do it now?
We can do whenever. You tell me.
Oh, no, okay. Oh, no, we'll do it closer.
No
Yeah, okay, cool. I just wanted to keep it in mind so we don't run out of time. Let's get to some of the questions, man. And if you have any other questions, please comment down below. D-Cause Lonzo, how did you hear about the SP1200 the very first time you bought one? That was a big deal, right? The SP12 back in the day was a big deal, right?
Oh, man. Yeah, Doc. I had little samplers. I had the SP12. I had the SP12 first. And where McCullough Records, where we did the distributor we all did business with, right down the street from McCullough, right next to McCullough was the label factory that made all the labels for McCullough. Right next to there was a recording supply store. They sold tape and they sold machines and supplies, and they also fixed recorders. But right next to them was a recording studio. Okay. But right next to them was Nadine's Music. Nadine's Music was a pretty nice. It's still there as far as I know. I've been there years. It was a pretty reputable studio. I mean, a music store, and I think it was, I forgot who it was, but they had a brand new policy that you can buy equipment up to $2,500 on credit, and the SP1200 had just come out, and
it cost $2,500, right?
$2,500. It was actually $22, but it was retailing for $29.95. But you might get it if you knew somebody paid cash, you might get it for $23. But I didn't know nobody. I didn't pay cash. I had to go through the process, and that was the latest and the greatest. Because you have to also understand, back then we were very competitive when it came to equipment. If we heard somebody had something, the new keyboard, we had to go get it too. Or we heard the new keyboard was coming out, we had to go run and get it. And that's how stupid we were. Okay. And when the SP1200 came out, that was a game changer, because now not only because we had an SP12, which was a cool drum machine, but it didn't have no type of storage shit on it. It only you had to put a Radio Shack tape-driven backup recorder on there to save your data. Okay, it was horrible. And the SP1200 had a disk drive in it. Had use floppy disk, and it had a longer sampling rate, a higher sampling rate, and longer sampling. And it just made the game that much cheaper, dude. And I can't where I heard about it from. I think it might have been either Unknown or Arabian, because they were always going to the NAMM show, and they kept me abreast of all that kind of stuff. So I'd have to say it probably was Unknown or Arabian that actually turned me on to it. Right. So who's the? Oh, they went under after the riots. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, the shot. Someone mentioned that. The Paramount Studios, right? And it was right next to Nadine's Music Store. It went underfold after the riots. Trust me, you don't want to know how I know. I don't. Because I hope you didn't just I hope you didn't just like make all of us. I ain't trying to get subpoenaed, dog. So don't be saying shit, D-Cause, please. Hey, Lonzo, I have a question. This popped up on my radar this week. Someone mentioned on another show, I can't think off the top of my head, but it's a very popular podcast, and I don't want to say the wrong one, so I'm not even going to say it. But I'm wondering if you know anything about this, or if you even heard anything about this. But Eazy-E is trending this week. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but he's trending for an interesting reason. There are rumors that he was a devil worshiper. Did you ever hear anything like that, or?
You got to understand Eazy. Eazy. If the internet was around when Eazy was alive,
gotcha.
He would have blew it up. Okay, Eazy knew how to get publicity. Okay, Eazy knew how to get publicity. Okay, Eazy has been known to play with Ouija boards and stuff like that. I ain't gonna say he was a devil worshiper, but if the illusion of him being a hip hop devil worshiper sold more records, okay, I wouldn't put it past him. You got to understand this dude, okay? I'm not a hater, but Eazy did more for me after he left than anybody else. I cast quite a few ruthless checks. Okay, so I have no disdain for Eazy whatsoever, but I understood Eazy's mindset. If you remember the movie, how Eazy got into the game, he wasn't trying to be a rapper. Eazy don't do ciphers and he don't do no talent shows trying to get put on. He kind of stumbled into this shit, okay? And he understood that Eazy-E was a character. Most people don't believe that. It was a character, okay? And he kind of grew into it more and more. And that's where you get the one-eye glasses, the machine gun, the bulletproof vest. But he was really a cool dude, and he understood his character, okay? And, Eazy was free. Jerry Heller managed, I think it was Axl Rose, one of them cats from Guns N' Roses.
Oh, okay.
So he had access to these white boys that most cats didn't have. So he was able to pick up on shit that wasn't accessible to everybody. So he realized if he could do certain shit, play crazy,
Love that.
do other shit, it would keep him for lack of a better word, trendy. Although it wasn't no internet back then, it kept the rumors kept the rumors going. Okay.
You just reminded me of an interview that N.W.A. did. I can't remember where it was, but he was trolling them the whole time. Now that I look back at it, everybody else was talking, but when they asked Eazy a question, he didn't say anything. He said nothing. He had a mask on and he just didn't talk the whole interview.
Right, the whole interview had on the Jason mask, the hockey mask. Okay, didn't say shit. Okay, he didn't say shit. Mm-hmm. That was a part of his get down. Yes, I see somebody. Yeah, he collected horror movie shit. I went to his house. He had little statues, those little 12-inch statues of the guys with the needles in his faces or whatever.
The needles, pinhead or something. Yeah,
pinhead,
yeah. Raising hell, Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Okay, he collected. He had the money to collect that kind of shit. Okay, those things were expensive back then. They're like $200 or $300. Okay, he had the money. That was part of his. He liked comic books. He liked shit like that. Okay, Eazy was athletic. Eazy could from flat-footed. He could jump on a damn fireplace from flat-footed up to a fireplace. That kind of cat he was. Okay, he understood. He was having fun. Okay, he was having fun. All right. The dude was with his kids too much. He was crazy about his mom, his parents. No, I don't see him being no devil worshiper. I see him playing the game like so many guys are right now. Everybody they put on the dress, they're not sleeping with guys, but it's part of the game they're playing right now. That's the game. Okay.
Yeah. Eazy would have been the biggest troll, man. You just put that whole thing together. That's crazy.
Come on, man. Okay.
Damn. Let's see. The J. Ross theory, Alonzo. Did you ever meet Jewel? She's very interesting.
Fuck yeah, Jewel.
Talk to us about her, because she's been really trending lately because she's been doing Cam Capone and the Art of Dialogue, and she's been spilling a lot of beans, and she has a beautiful voice. Oh my God! But talk to me about Jewel, man.
Man, Jewel used to sing in the Eve After Dark. She used to win talent contests all the time in the Eve After Dark. Jewel, Lachelle, one of my friends, and Jewel used to come to Eve After Dark. They was like maybe 14 or 15. They sneak in the club, and because Lachelle brought Jewel to me and let her sing at Eve After Dark. I'm surprised she haven't mentioned that in one of her shows. She would win contests all the fucking time. Okay. But Lachelle was Suge Knight's cousin. She is Suge Knight's cousin. Okay. And I'm gonna try and get Lachelle on the show. I'm gonna try and get Jewel on the show. Because we go back to the 80s. Probably before maybe she might have been winning contests before Drake got to the Eve After Dark.
Because I didn't know she was on a couple N.W.A. joints. She did the Eazy-E, a couple Eazy-E songs too. I never even knew that before she even went to Death Row. I had no idea.
It was a couple of girls that were out of Compton that were great singers. Tracy Nelson was one. She sang with Dre and Ruthless and Joel as well. And they all were regulars at Eve After Dark back in the day. I mean, we talking about these, again, we talking about these were kids back then. They were like 16, 17 years old, 15, 16 years old coming to the Eve doing their thing. Okay. I think Michelle told me she was a lot younger, but she dressed older. So I gave her a pass. And I would give girls passes a lot faster than I would a knucklehead do. But her and Joelle was partners. They've been partners forever. In fact, I was trying to get Joelle on the show, but wherever she moved to, she was in town for a minute. That's when I was still doing the show live in person. But I'm gonna reach out for her after the holidays and see if I can get her on the show, do one of these remote shows. I'm quite. I know she'll do
that. Yeah, man, that would be so dope, dude. Make that happen, Lonzo. D-Cos says, fun fact, Lonzo, the song you guys did, BS, back in 1988, was a major hit back here in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Was it really?
Interesting, huh? How random songs are popular in random places.
Yeah, that was kind of one of our regular tracks on our CBS album. We used a Daffy Duck. It was had a Daffy Duck sample and some more shit, man. We back the CBS album. We did that strictly for the money, man. It was like, how much money you got for us? How much we gonna get when we get through? All right, we back in a week. We did that thing in like maybe 2 weeks. We did it. We did it in like 2 weeks, man. We was in the studio so fast. We did the demos at my house on my Oberheim system. And once Larkin approved what he heard, we went back to the studio, tracked it, did the vocals, and then the next week we went to the studio and mixed it. We hurried up to get our check, only to tell us we had to hurry up and wait. Yeah. But BS, bumping in, drumming just to get to the crowd in a rage, just bumping and jumping just to get to the stage. Yeah, that's how I haven't heard it in a while, but I know some of it. We never did it in a concert though. That was not one of our. Maybe I think it was. I think we did do it for a while. Cause it was an up tempo. It was definitely a driver. One of them songs had a lot of energy to it. That and World Class Freak. But yeah, good looking out, Doc.
Man, crazy. I have a question for you. This is something I wanted to discuss as well because Reggie Wright Jr. Does a lot of podcasts and he's always on a lot of other people's stuff as well. And he said something that stuck in my head, and I would love your thoughts on this. But we always hear about how Suge Knight, stole money from me. Suge Knight owes me millions, such and such millions. I think the question that they asked Reggie Wright was, is Suge Knight really the devil? And and what he said in so many terms that, a lot of people say that Suge owes him money and Suge owes him this and that, but Suge was the type of person that would spend millions of dollars on you before he even made a penny on you. He mentioned Snoop Dogg. The trial cost him $1.5 million before he made a penny off of Snoop. He mentioned Lady of Rage and how they all had a per diem and like got $5,000 a month, and before they even released an album, and a lot of them didn't even release albums, but they still had a lifestyle like the people that had the album. I guess my question for you is, do you, that's a hard word to call somebody, but do you think Suge Knight is the devil, or do you believe what Reggie was saying in that sense that he was a very giving guy?
In the documentary, Welcome to Death. Was it Welcome to Death Row? Yeah, I think it was Welcome to Death Row. The documentary I was in, and I said in the documentary, Dre once told me he would sell his soul to the devil for $1 million, and they immediately cut to Suge in the documentary. If you ever see the documentary, it's probably on YouTube. Look it up. I said that, and that was something that he did tell me, and they cut to Suge right away. I'm not gonna say no man is the devil, but Suge knew who he can get away with not paying and paying. You got to remember, you got to listen to all the stories, how people were broke. Everybody was broke. People living with their mamas. Some of them didn't have no place to stay half the time. And Suge would rent apartments. He made sure they had money to eat with. Like Snoop said, Snoop may have spent 1.5 million on his case, but Snoop said he never got a royalty check. He never don't know. He didn't get no publishing. Suge's publishing company is called Ain't Nothing But Fucking Going On. Okay,
Heard that. Yeah.
Ain't nothing but fucking going on publishing. Okay, so if he understood the game, he learned it from Dick Griffey. Dick Griffey was notorious for not giving people what they was doing.
Really?
Allegedly, I never dealt with him, but allegedly, as rumor has it, he was notorious for not taking care of his people. He put you in the studio and give you something to eat and cars, whatever the case may be. When it came down to the paperwork, he pretty much controlled that, and that's why a lot of people individually left. Whispers, Lakeside, everybody. They all started there, but they ended someplace else. When you're dealing with, you got the Dog Pound, you got Snoop, you got Dre, you got all these people around, and Snoop's album was the first one, but Snoop was Dre. Snoop came out first, right?
Dre came out first.
So you got a shitload of money real fast. Then Snoop came out, got a bigger pile of money. Okay, then you got the Above the Rim soundtrack and all this other stuff coming out back to back to back. With most record contracts are designed to screw the artist in the very beginning. Just trust me, because people got to spend money to break you. Okay, so they base their contract on you not making no money. But if you do, I get all of it.
Damn, man.
That's the contract. Okay.
Damn.
I'm gonna base this. I'm gonna invest money in you. I'm gonna invest money in you to make you the biggest artist possible. If you don't blow up like you're supposed to, I get all the money. I get my money, but I don't lose no money. And if you do blow up like you're supposed to, I get most of the money, if not all the money. So I saw a video. I think Snoop was on the Breakfast Club. He said he never got no royalty checks. Joelle, her name ain't on half the stuff that she did. She never got no royalty checks. So, but you also got to look at if you give somebody, I don't know how much money a month, if you put them in a house, if you put them in cars, all that becomes deductible. If you don't get an album out of them or a single out of them that sells, you still spent that money. So understanding both sides of the record industry, as an artist, as a record label owner, if I'm fronting you $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month for eating, plus I got an apartment, 4 people living in, but somebody still got to pay for that apartment. Y'all driving cars, you ain't got no money. Somebody got to cover the insurance, the gas, food, everything. Okay, everything is on this person. There's a running tab someplace. It may not seem like one, there's a tab being ran someplace, and depending on your performance will determine if that tab is paid off or not. If it ain't never paid off, okay, I'm gonna write it off, but you don't get no money. You still owe me. I'm gonna write it off this year, but you still owe me. So that come to the studio, sing a couple of songs, but you didn't get no album. Come to the studio and sing a couple of hooks, but you didn't get no album. How much money is singing a couple of hooks worth? And it may be platinum. If you didn't write that hook, or have a publishing company to cover what you did, you pretty much got paid for them sandwiches in that car in the apartment. That's going to be the general attitude from somebody, especially somebody with this kind of street attitude. Now, if he respected you, he'd pay you. But even that didn't really that statement don't really apply because he didn't want to pay Harry O.
Damn. Before we get into Lonzo's Back in the Day segment, shout out to the chat room. If you guys can please hit that like button, please hit that notification so you are notified whenever Lonzo drops a video. We drop daily, 6 p.m. clips every day. Tuesdays, we got this show. Thursdays, Lonzo is usually doing his interview show, except for this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. But yes, please hit that like button. Shout out to all you guys. Lonzo, you want to do your Back in the Day segment?
All right, folks. Last week we did a little tour of the
you can take me off screen.
All right. Last week we did a little tour of the vault where I keep all my tapes at, some of the plates and masters, to kind of show you the ball system that goes behind being the godfather of West Coast hip hop. Right now, this is the studio. This is where everything took place at. Just a little tour of the studio. This is back in the day, it was a lot different. I had a big mixing board, and as you know by now, all that stuff was obsolete, but it still gave us a platform. I still have to keep VCRs and DVD players and DAT players because I have all those formats, and some of those formats are very important, and it's very expensive to try and convert that shit. So I built this rack with ADATs and DAT players and cassette players and turntables. So at any given moment, if I have to transfer a song or a video or whatever the case may be, I have the machine to do it. And that was a pretty good investment. You know, it's hard to find a DAT player. It's hard to find a working ADAT. I had three of them. I had a 24-track ADAT studio, and there you can't find them no more. And to get somebody to try to transfer an ADAT might cost you about $100 a piece. So I got reel-to-reels because I got reels in my garage. So all these things, everything is important. And again, because of my history, I got so many different formats. I have to keep all the stuff in the studio. This is my wall of fame. That's the Master P, Mr. Ice Cream Man single. Also the triple platinum straight out of Compton. The Welcome to Death Row poster I just told you about. One of my first documentaries. And that poster at the bottom right there, that's a picture I bought for Dre, because Dre used to always blow my speakers. That's the Maxwell. Was it Maxwell tapes? It was a high grade tape we used back in the day, and that was kind of my a tribute to Dre. He had my shit blowing like a son of a bitch. We had to Donovan at RDER Achievement had to put in actual club speakers because Dre played this music so goddamn loud. It was just ridiculous. So that was a poster I found at Swap Meet or someplace, and I thought about it, made me think about Dre. Here is my championship belt. It's something I just had made up. And I didn't realize after I had this belt made that my dad always called me champ for whatever reason all my life. He never called me by my name. He called me champ. So, and if I found somebody that actually made these belts, that's an expensive ass belt, but hey, it is what it is. And this is one of my libraries. Yeah, I read a lot of books, especially back in the day, whatever for dummies. Because, hey, man, I had to make sure that I knew what I was doing. And back then, we didn't have YouTube University. So, and this is just a bunch of shit on those brown things on the wall are the charts where turn off the lights was in Billboard. I had them laminated. And this is kind of my little production studio over here. That tall white thing, that's a CD and DVD burner. It's obsolete. They've been used in months, but I ain't giving it away because you never know. That's my workstation, and my son's over there most of the time doing what he does. I do all my voiceovers for commercials there, and also music production when I have something to do. What else we got there? And yeah, well, it's supposed to be moving by now. I was talking. Anyway, that's part of what I do. Keyboards and other stuff here. This is my other desk. This is my executive producer desk. Usually, if I'm not on the mic doing a radio show or something like that, I will sit here and coach and executive produce whatever has to be done. Now we're gonna walk over to the other production where I am right now. This is where I'm sitting right now, up against the green screen. Okay, what the fuck? Up against the green screen. That's my. If you started off, that's what we started off. Me and Dusty. I had that. I made that from a project and all album covers. But over here, oh, that's the green screen. You can't see it that well because I'm up against it. I'm out of the screen, but that's the equipment. I forgot about that shit. Anyway, as I told you, I'm a handy-andy type of cat, so I do a lot of my own work here at the studio, and it keeps me grounded. It keeps me level, man. When you can fix some shit and get a sense of completion, that just makes my day. So that's just basically a tour of the studio. Yes, this is the same studio that Eazy-E threw DJ Yella and Ice Cube out of in the movie Straight Outta Compton. I'm in the same house, been here for 30 some odd years. And I'm tired of people calling me, asking me, am I going to sell it? Because I ain't going nowhere. If I do, I'm going to keep it and buy me another house. But yes, this is the studio. This is Old Town Studios, folks, where everything in West Coast hip hop took place at, y'all. So, Dusty, come on back to me, Doc.
Yeah, man. Remind everybody of some names, and the list is endless, but just give us some names of people who passed that studio, just off the top of your head. Let it roll.
Cube, KD, Afro Man, DJ Pooh, Body and Soul, of course, Dr. Dre, DJ Quick, Tidy T, Miss Master Spade, man,
Damn.
Arabian Prince. I have so many dancers because where I'm sitting at right now is actually another room behind my green screen that I just turned into a single apartment for one of my relatives. But this whole room was much bigger, so I used to have a band. I used to have band rehearsals back here, so damn big, and I did also dance groups rehearse back here. So anybody was a dancer or whatever needs a space to come in rehearse, that's what I gave them the space. So the hip hop community, I mean, man, it goes deep. If you was at my house back in the day, it would be like watching the movie House Party, because everybody in House Party, nobody in House Party was really blown up yet. Kid and Play was pretty big, but nobody else was really big yet. So that's how my house was when it came to hip hop. Nobody had blown up yet.
The who's who of future hip hop.
Future hip hop was at my house on a daily basis. Okay, I'm talking about wake up in the morning at 9 o'clock and Eazy knocking on my door. Got little E in tow. Rose, she went in the room from me because I was a single at the time. She went in the room from me. So D Barnes would be there shortly. Def Jeff would be through here in the studio hanging out with Dre. Same thing with D Smooth, D Nice. I mean, it's just been a spot for serious West Coast history. And the crazy part about it is, what's really crazy for me, I was telling somebody the story earlier. I'm doing an event, a showcase at the Barbara Morrison Theater. The guy who owned the house before me, Johnny Otis, discovered Barbara Morrison. Y'all don't know none of these names, but don't worry about it. I ain't mad, but still, I understand what it is. And Barbara Morrison also recorded here, and she is probably a well-respected vocalist here in LA and around the world. She worked with Ray Charles, everybody else. Again, I'm like that missing link between R&B, blues, hip hop, and soul. That's the advantage of being an old head in hip hop. I'm a young head and everything else. All right, there you go.
Yeah, man. Damn, dude. Def Jeff is somebody who doesn't get a lot of shine. Talk to us about Def Jeff, and you guys may remember him as like the third rapper on It's All in the Same Gang.
Def Jeff is a very talented. I spoke to him last year. We supposed to do the podcast, man, but he's so busy. I caught up with him, man. We had a great talk. He was always teasing me about buying my house, but he moved to Atlanta and bought him a house in Atlanta. Excuse me. And he's just a super talented dude. If you ever see Pulp Fiction, he's a bartender in Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction? Yeah, bartender in Pulp Fiction. Okay. Was it Pulp Fiction?
Never knew that.
No. No, it's that's not Pulp Fiction. It's he's the bartender in the movie with Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum. He was wiping the bar down in one of the movies. And I think somebody got their ass beaten in the pool hall or something like that.
Oh, Deep Cover.
Deep Cover. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's Def Jeff. So, all right, we got about a minute and a half. Anything else we want to cover?
Yeah, no, man. I mean, we have a lot. I copied and pasted anybody's questions we couldn't get to. I just want to give a shout out to the chat room. Hope you guys have a nice Thanksgiving. With your families if you guys celebrate out there. Shout out to Moncho Campbell, John Taylor, Rashard Cobb, Compton Girl, Maxie Mix Some Vibes. These are a lot of people that tune in every week. I really appreciate you guys. Lonzo really appreciates you.
Definitely,
as well.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, man, you guys are dope. You guys keep the show going. You guys are the heartbeat of the show. So just keep tuning in, keep telling a friend, keep subscribing, keep just hitting that like button. That's like the most important thing you guys can really do right now. Lonzo, we got to get a super chat. Everybody keeps talking about super chat. This holiday season, we got to look into super chat. Like the chat room is popping. And I know they would be very, generous, based off the content that you give them. So
D calls. He looked up Barbara Morrison. He knows. I Can't Make You Love Me First. That's Barbara Morrison's song. Yes, and she. We'll talk about her more. But man, she had. Here's something that really blew me away. She's a double amputee.
Who is?
From Barbara Marson.
Damn.
Double amputee from the knees down. Okay.
Wow.
I met her. We had a chat. She was in her wheelchair, and she went to go backstage to get something, and I said, "You need some help?" She said, "No, baby, I'm good." And she got out the wheelchair and walked on them stumps. Man, scared the shit out of me. Fucked me up.
Oh my God.
Fuck me up. Okay. Fuck me up. I'm like, damn. I'm thinking to myself, I thought she didn't have no legs, but she was walking. She is a true spirit that ain't gonna be stopped. Okay.
Wow.
She ain't gonna be stopped, man. She had no legs, but she still was walking, man. I know that
sounds crazy. I can get my own soda, Playboy. I got this.
I know that sounds crazy, but that's real shit. Okay?
You tell some real shit in a funny way. I
that's
love
some
it.
real shit. She got out the wheelchair and walked on them stumps backstage, got her calendar book, brought it back to me, and I'm like, oh, God, dude, this happened recently. I'm like, okay.
Oh man.
And she got back in the wheelchair and got handling her business. Hey man, some shit. It may seem funny, but it wasn't funny. But it reminded me of that dude from what's that show?
Don't tell me. Okay.
No. Because the granddaddy on the show, they used to come on Channel 11 after The Simpsons. One of the granddaddy, he same thing happened to him.
Oh no. But you're gonna have the amputees writing you letters, man.
But no, it's not. I'm not trying to be funny. It just blew me away. I'd never seen that before. Okay.
Yeah.
It just blew me away. I'd never seen that before. I never seen anybody do that. But just her spirit is like, no, I don't need no help. And got up and walked on them and came on back and got back in and handled her business. Okay. All right, folks.
You got everybody in the chat room dying, dog, and I'm dying over here. You missed your calling as a comedian, Lonzo. That's all I'm gonna say, man. You missed your calling as a comedian. All right, man. The floor is yours, man. It's always a pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving.
Much love, folks. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. We out of here, y'all. Peace. Here we go,
y'all. Peace.